so we are gonna do a couple of these together, and then we're going to, work independently on them, and then we will go over all of them before the end of class. Okay? All right, so we are gonna be answering the following questions because they are word problems. We are going to be doing what with them? Annotated. All right, so first time through, pencils are down, markers are down, everything is down. We're gonna I'll read it out loud. Second time through, we'll go sentence by sentence, and then third time through, we're gonna go ahead and solve it. Says the Martinez family drove 48 7/10 miles to the river. It took them 1 2 hours to get there. How fast did they drive? Round to the nearest whole number. All right. This time through, we're going sentence by sentence. The Martinez family drove 48 7/10 miles to the river. All right, what's important in that questions, or that sentence, sorry. You carry out. Okay. It took them 1 2 hours to get there. What's important in that question? Okay. Okay, and then how fast did they drive? Run. Okay, and then round to the nearest whole number. Okay, so how many decimal places do we have to go in order to round to the nearest whole number?
1.
Just 1. All right, so what are we doing here? Y'all tell me. Multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting.
Dividing.
Okay, what are we going to divide by?
12 divided by 40. 1.2 divided by 48.
So the 1 2 is going under the division house?
Oh, not the.
Okay, so your total, which is this is the total amount they drove, right? Your total is what you divide by. So that always has to go underneath. So 48 7/10 divided by 1 2. No, we're gonna go step by step. All right, so now I have a question though. What did we learn yesterday? And if you don't remember, can you get your foldable out? All right, so Noah, what do we need to do here, sweetie, before we start?
On those, or for the 1 and 2 to do the decimal to the right.
Okay, how many times?
Once.
Okay,
And you have to do the same thing to the 48 too.
and why do we have to do that now? Can we divide by a decimal on the outside? All right, so now our new problem, and I'm just gonna rewrite this, you don't have to. I just like to try and stay as neat as possible. Is 487 divided by 12. All right, so at this point, what do we do now? Aiden, we're gonna divide, all right? So, what do we do? Y'all tell me. 448. Okay, so I'm okay with you skipping a step if you understand that. Just what she's saying is 48. Everybody understands why she skipped 4, correct? Is there anybody who doesn't understand that? Okay, so how many times, or what do we multiply 12 by to get us 48? So? 4. And when we multiply 12 times 4, we get 48. We have to bring down our 7. And we say to ourselves, okay, well, what times 12 gives us 7? Leo, what can I multiply 12 by to get 7? Nothing. So what's that number? Okay. Why did I add a 0 and bring it down? Why didn't I just stop?
Because you can't just leave a number.
You're right, we can't just leave that 7 there, so that's one reason. What was the other reason that told me I need to keep going though? It has something to do with what we annotated. Emma?
The question tells us to round to the nearest number, whole number.
Right, so technically, we don't have a number to the right of that whole number to round, right? So we gotta at least do that place value. Does that make sense? Alright, so what are we gonna multiply 12 by to get close to 70 without going over? Zoe, R.
5.
And when you multiply 12 times 5, what do you get? Alright, so can I stop now? Why can I stop now?
Because you have an original right to round.
Right, I have the number to the right to round. This is why it's important for you guys to completely understand what you're annotating. Because we could keep going for another 3 or 4 decimal places, and you don't have to. That is wasted time, especially if you're taking a time test, that you don't want to waste. Alright, so now my answer is 40 and a half. With that 5, am I going to keep it a 0 in the ones place, or am I going to round it up to a 1? What am I going to do, Jonathan? Right, so this becomes, they drove how fast did it drive? 41 miles per hour. Okay? Questions? What are you doing? So take it off and put it away. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Alright, so same thing, pencils are down, markers are down, everything is down. We're gonna read through the first time, second time we're gonna annotate sentence by sentence, and then third time we're gonna start to solve. Alright, Nikki's buying some refrigerator magnets for her friends. Her total bill is $16.80. If magnets are 80 cents each, how many magnets is she buying? Alright, so first sentence. Nikki is buying some refrigerator magnets for her friends. What's important in that sentence? Is anything important? Does it matter that she's buying some magnets? Nope, it doesn't matter at all. Like, there's nothing that we need to annotate in that question, or that sentence. Alright, her total bill is $16.80. Alright, and I'm gonna ask you to add one more thing to that.
Total bill.
Yes, total bill. Why is total bill important? Mikael. I can't hear what you're saying. No? No? Why is total bill so important to us, guys? Ronnie?
Because if it doesn't say like total bill, it could be like half bill, something like that.
Y'all are giving me too much information. Why is total bill so important? Somebody just said it. Who just said it? Aiden? Why is total bill so important?
Because it's the total.
It's the total. You know what you're gonna divide by now, right? Because it tells you the total bill is $16.80. Alright, next sentence, or half a sentence. If magnets are 80 cents each, what's important in that one? Christiana?
80 cents each.
80 cents each. Obviously, this whole thing is how many magnets is she buying? Alright, so at this point, we know our total is $16.80, right? And then we know that each one of them are 80 cents. So what do we have to do before we get started with our division? I need new friends. I like my old friends, but I really want some new ones. Elisa, what do we need to do first, babe?
You need to, put the, you have to go 2 decimal places.
Okay? And why are we going 2 decimal places?
You can't have a decimal place, you have
Okay, and if I go do 2 decimal places on the outside, how many do I go on the inside?
to,
Yes, ma'am. So again, I'm going to rewrite this. That is just a preference. You do not have to. All right. So from here, are we ready to divide? I really appreciate it if you could focus today. All right, so what times 80 gives me 1? Anything? What times 80 gives me 16? Anything? Nothing? All right, what times 80 gives me 168 or really close to 168 without going over? Sorry, 2. So 80 times 2 is 160. Bring my 0 down. All right, 80 times what gives me 80, Christiana? 1. All right, so in this one, they bought 20, or she bought 21 magnets. All right, questions? All right, you have 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have 4 problems you are working independently on. I'm setting my timer. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes. If you finish before the 15 minutes is up, you're working on a math Alexia. If you're done with both, I do not care. Pick one to work on. Okay? We are gonna go over the rest of these together. So everyone make sure that they have a correct answer. And then you will have a exit ticket mini quiz that you will be taking today to kind of tell us where we're at. Okay? Questions? All right, let's go. William, come here, babe. What's going on with your watch? Well, I was fixing it, that. Yeah. Yeah. Good night, just like that. Number 6 may be a little bit more difficult. You may not necessarily be dividing. you at least got the number 4 or 5. Alright, so again, gonna go through the process of alright, so Yorgi has 12 and 12, good lord, 14 and 2,500 cups of cupcake batter. If each cupcake uses 7,500 cups of batter, how many cupcakes can he make? Alright, so what is important in the first sentence? He has 14 and 2,500 cups of cupcake batter. Mikhail,
14 and 2,500
okay? And what does that tell us about 14 and 2,500? What does that tell us? Krishana? Our total. Alright, if each cupcake uses 7,500 cups of batter, what's important in there? Okay, okay, and then how many cupcakes can he make? So what are we divided by? What are we divided by, Kylie?
15 and 2,500.
5.
Oh,
Okay. Kylie, what do I need to do before I start dividing?
remember the decimal of the 7,500 is 2 times 2, right?
Okay,
And then also,
alright, what can I multiply 75 by to give me 1? Alright, what about 14? What about, 142?
1.
1? 12 minus 5 is what? 12 minus 5 is what? I need new hands, new friends. Hiram, what is 12 minus 5?
7.
7. And then can we take 7 from 3? We only have 3, can we take 7 from it? No, there's the borrow. What is 13 minus 7? Ronnie? 6, and then I'm gonna bring down my 5. Alright, 75 times what gives me 675? Zoe?
9.
None. Alright, so we can make 19 cupcakes. How'd you guys do with that one?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, awesome. Alright, let's flip it over. Alright, it took Steve and his construction crew 8 months to build a house. After expenses, he was left with $24,872.67 for himself. On average, how much did Steve make per month? Round to the nearest dollar. Alright, so first sentence, it took Steve and his construction crew 8 months to build a house. What's important in there? Emma?
8 months.
8 months. Alright, after expenses, he was left with $24,872.67. Gemma, what's important in there?
He was left with 24,872 and 67.
Yes. Alright, on average, how much did Steve make per month? Alright, what's important there? Ronnie?
On average, how much do Steve make? Like the whole sentence.
Yep. And then making sure that we're rounding to the nearest dollar. That's important as well. Alright, so what do we do for this one? What do we do? Like tell me how you, like, what was your division problem? Noah?
24,872 divided by 8.
Alright, do we have to do anything, Noah, to the number on the outside? Why? Because it's not a decimal, right? So the only thing we need to do is make sure that we bring this decimal straight up. And we are rounding to the nearest dollar. So therefore, how many places to the right of our decimal do we have to go? Just one. Yep. Alright, so what times 8 gives me 2? Nothing. What times 8 gives me 24? Joy.
3.
Okay, what times 8 gives me 8? Zoe.
1.
What times 8 gives me 7? What was it? Nothing. What times 8 gives me 72? William.
2, nothing. Or
No,
six-
72.
Oh, 72? 9 times.
What times 8 gives me 6? Okay, nothing. So therefore, he made an average of about $3,109 per month when he was building that house. Is that what you guys came up with? Why did we stop after that 0? Right, because if there's a 0, we're gonna be rounding down anyways. So there's no reason to keep going any further. Okay? How many of you guys kept going?
I went to 6 when I rounded.
Okay,
I went through 8 and stopped because I was over there.
okay. How many did you go? 8. Not doing a whole plethora of. Alright, number 5. How many of you guys got here? How many of you guys got down with them?
But all of them? Yeah, not all of them.
That's fine. Alright, so if you didn't get through this one, that is okay. Just kind of annotate as we're going through, solve as we're going through. Alright, so since Frank, Gina, Judy, and Connie are splitting their dinner bill, after the tip, the total is $30.08. How much does each owe if they split the bill 4 ways? Alright, so reading it again. Frank, Gina, Judy, and Connie are splitting their dinner bill. What's important in that question, or that sentence? Levi? Okay, so the names, but what else is important? The word splitting. Splitting tells us we're gonna be doing what? Dividing. Okay? After the tip, the total is $30.08. What's important in that question? The total is $30.08. So, keyword total, telling us what about $30.08? And that's what we're what? That's what we're gonna be dividing. And then how much does each owe if they split their bill 4 ways? Obviously, that whole thing is important, but what else is important within the final question? No? Yes. Because that tells you what? Tells you that you're gonna be dividing by 4. If you didn't pick it up here, hopefully you pick it up down there. Alright, so we have $30.08 divided by 4. Do I have to do anything before I start my division? Don't have to do anything other than just make sure that you bring your decimal straight up and then you start dividing because their number on the outside is what? It's what? It's already a whole number, so we don't have to do anything. Alright, what times 4 gives me 30? What times 4 gives me 30 without going over? Christiana?
7.
Alright, what times 4 gives me 20? Wyatt? 5? And what times 4 gives me 8? No. 2. Alright, so each one of them are gonna have to pay $7.52 a piece. Okay? How'd you guys do with that one?
I got it right, but I did.
Remember, if there's nothing on the, if there's no decimals on the outside, don't change anything on the inside. Alright. Last question. How many of you guys got here? Okay. Alright, so again, reading through, they're gonna read through it again, then we're gonna solve it. It says, Rick's car gets 29 and 7/10 miles per gallon on the highway. If his fuel tank holds 10 and 4,500 gallons, then how far can he travel on one full tank of gas? Alright, what's important in the first sentence? Rick's car gets 29 and 7/10 miles per gallon on the highway. Jonathan, what's important in that first sentence? Okay. If his fuel tank holds 10 and 4,500 gallons, what's important in that one? Kyra, what's important in that section?
10 and 4,500 gallons.
Okay, make sure we know that his fuel tank holds that. Okay, and then it says, then how far can he travel on one full tank of gas? And obviously, a whole sentence and knowing that it's one full tank. Alright, so what do we have to do here? Krishana? You're multiplying with this one, right? How many of you guys would have divided had I not said anything? Why would you have divided? What type of questions are there? Right. Right. So everything about what we've talked about so far today has been about division, right? So automatically we are going to divide because, oh, that's what Miss Kinney is teaching us. But it's important for y'all to read the sentence. Yes,
Oh, sorry. I was gonna do the fact that it was a multiplication question, not a division question.
well, what made you realize that it was multiplication, not division?
It's because when I was trying to divide it, it just the math didn't make sense. It would come out as a lot smaller than how much per gallon. So that's what showed that it fuel tank it holds 10 and 45 hundredths. How far can you travel?
So if you divided, if you got there before I said anything to you, you got like 35 hundredths was one if you divided it one way, and like 3 or 2 miles was the other one. And both of those should have been like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because sometimes we get in our minds and we are practicing division, so therefore we've got to divide with every question. But you've got to ask yourself, does this answer make sense? If it doesn't make sense, then you got to take a step back and be like, what did I do wrong here? All right, so let's go ahead and multiply. All right, how many place values do I have to the right of my decimals? Mishona? You say 3?
Yeah.
All right, which tells me what about my answer? What does that tell me I'm gonna do my answer, William?
It will have 3 decimal places.
After we do our multiplication, right?
Yeah.
All right, so your answer, because I am not doing all of this multiplication again, should have been that before you added your decimals in. All right, then I know that I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and my answer becomes 310 miles and 365,000. 310 and 365,000 miles. Okay? Or if you rounded it just to the whole number is 310 miles. There's no like exact where you stop rounding or don't round. Okay? Questions about these problems today? I know that they weren't terribly hard, but it's good practice. Alright? Slide over to the next blank side. Alright, and you'll notice it says decimal operations. So on your exit ticket, it might be more than just division. Please make sure you put your first name and your last name on your exit ticket, and then, when you are finished, you can do all of your work right here on this page. When you're finished, please turn it in. You may move around the room, work on Lexia, work on American Math. Again, I don't care if you're done with both of them. You get more, either Lexia or Imagine Math done.